SKIDS PODCAST. I'm Shane Kopke. I am here with Tim Gage. I don't know why he plays whatever that is there. And Kevin McNichols.
Hi.
Who nobody asked to be here tonight. I don't know why he's here this time.
I don't know either.
So
It's like a gravitational pull. I get pulled here.
no,
I never make a conscious decision to be here.
you could have just stopped with "I never make a conscious decision."
Never make a conscious decision.
Yeah, that's been kind of a shitty week for me.
Yeah, man.
My dad died this week, which sucks, but
Sorry, man.
you know,
That's terrible.
thank you for that. That's bringing the Undertaker into this. It's really helpful. Yeah, unfortunately, I mean,
Oh, that's terrible, man. I'm sorry.
yeah, I'm thinking. So they won't do an autopsy apparently.
Why?
Don't know. I think because
there's no foul play considered.
yeah, that's the reasoning behind it, and
But
I mean his age and everything too.
I mean, you would think they do it just to learn
No,
the cause.
They're not
You
gonna
have to know
spend
for
money on
sure.
shit like that.
No,
dude.
we have to.
Who's
We have
gonna pay for it?
We do if we want to get an autopsy.
Yeah, that's
I
just it.
see,
They're not
I
gonna do
see.
it for free.
Well, I guess I didn't know how that stuff worked.
Well, here's the dumb thing. Even if the medical examiner doesn't come out, you still have to pay them for coming out, even though they never showed up.
It's documentation
dumb.
fees and shit like that.
I
to
know,
make
but
sure
it's the same.
person's dead.
It's the same price if they come out or not. It's fucking dumb.
It's a pretty cool gig if you can get it.
Yeah, where you just sleep and
Yep.
then okay,
I
they
got paid today.
They were fine.
Someone must have died.
Yeah. So I mean, we think that it was most likely a heart attack.
Yeah.
Based on how he was found and all that stuff.
Mhm.
You know, and it sucks that one of my nieces is the one that found him.
Oh,
So-
man.
And
How old is she?
I don't know,
She's young.
probably like 6.
Oh,
Jesus,
7,
dude.
maybe?
Oh my fucking
Oh, that's
God.
awful.
Yeah.
Just get her into counseling quick, dude.
No, my mom's already said that she wants to make sure that my sister gets them. You know,
Yeah.
in there. Just look, hey, you're gonna have to go through some
You
stuff.
need to talk to
Yeah,
somebody about
yeah.
that for sure, dude. Because
How terrible.
Hey,
Man.
cheer the fuck up, Kevin. I'm the one that lost a father.
I'm just sorry.
Jesus
It's just
Christ.
you know.
What is he
it's
doing?
Terrible.
he's Kevin, dude.
I know.
He doesn't have his own emotions. He has reaction emotions. It's essentially like,
It is
this is how I'm
true.
supposed to feel about this right now.
Are you?
I was reading about that. I'm supposed to pretend like I'm sad. Oh, that's unfortunate.
You
Oh,
know
that
what?
sucks.
He's basically our version
damn
of Data from
psychotic.
fucking
Exactly. He's only got programmed responses.
Yeah.
When he's surprised, wow, that's crazy.
I mean, he's even more rudiment. He's more of a Teddy Ruxpin. You know, we just have to put a tape in him. Oh, this is a sad tape. Go ahead and be sad, Kevin.
Sad things happen today. When
you're feeling
blue.
It's a dark cloud out.
Smile upside
down.
Well, I'm not going to now.
Yeah.
Jesus
probably not.
Christ, dude.
I probably just made everything worse.
Stop being a
didn't
cunt.
Yeah. What's going on with the
That's my job.
news, Kevin?
So we're just gonna go from that to the news.
I guess.
Okay.
Fuck Shane's dead dad.
Well,
I'm just kidding. That's
what the
a terrible thing
fuck?
to say. I feel
Well-
really shitty about that now.
I mean, I can't wait till your parents die, and I can say way worse things.
Well,
A horrible person.
I guess moving on to the news.
We'll go back to that topic in a bit. It was bringing the whole room down.
Yeah. So
It's Kevin. He brought the room down.
Yeah, I
It's
guess
kind of
so.
amazing.
usually it's what I do.
Yeah, you're bad at this.
So
Have you
The
ever
news-
thought? Have you ever
there-
thought? Wait, have you ever thought of not podcasting? It might be in your future. No, I'm saying.
my
Dude,
mind.
no, he's like
I'm just
he's
saying.
crucial to this, dude. We can't do this.
It's
without
Well,
crossed
no,
my
he,
mind.
he is
Like,
kind of the butt of our
that's what
jokes.
I'm-
Yeah,
well,
that's true.
He's also the person that does literally everything for the fucking show.
He can still do that. We've told him that before.
Oh,
Kevin,
yeah,
you can
just
still
you
can
do all
still,
the stuff and then but
you
not
can
be
still
here in
edit,
this part.
upload, and then help us promote it, but not be on it.
If I'm gonna be the off-screen producer doing all that shit, I gotta get a paycheck.
You will if we ever make $1.
Yeah. Send
Yeah.
money, folks.
Yeah, please.
Yes.
You know, Shane's got some, death expenses he's got to take care of, so he needs money for that shit.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's amazing how much they charge for a cardboard fucking
It's
box.
fucking ridiculous in general. The
Cardboard?
price of someone dying is fucking
Yeah,
stupid.
When you cremate somebody, they have to be in a cardboard box.
Oh,
Yeah.
you guys are doing cremation.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know.
No, we were
'Cause I was just
burying
saying,
him in a
burying
cardboard
him in
box.
a cardboard box. I was
I
like,
mean,
holy Fuck.
That's an option, right? You got the property. Why not? Just dig a
That's
hole.
true.
Dude.
I think there's supposed to be a dead horse somewhere on the property,
Well,
too.
put him next to the horse. That'd be fantastic. That's not illegal in Washington. You can bury a person on your property.
Oh, I thought you
Oh,
were going to go
really?
with fucking horses.
No, you can
It's
do
like,
that
that's
too.
fucked up, dude. No, you
mean,
can't.
actually,
That
not
is
anymore.
illegal.
That's true.
in
Somebody
Washington.
ruined that for people.
We
Yeah.
brushed up on
Yeah,
that
what a
one.
prick.
But
that
I'm
guy
just
was.
saying, you can bury a loved one on your own property and save a shit ton of money doing so. You've got a backhoe.
That would be a weird thing, though,
I think
to
your
have.
dad would be most appreciative
No,
of that.
he wanted cremation.
Well, he doesn't. He didn't have a
No,
say
I
in
get
this
it. I
anymore.
get it. At this point, he's not part of the voting committee.
Yeah, exactly.
I understand that.
Kind of why you make
I mean,
those,
you could
those-
just set a
say those things
bonfire out and do a
beforehand.
whole pyre for him. if
Yeah.
you want to
Oh,
go that-
Viking funeral?
Yeah, why
but he was-
not?
he
It's your
was-
property.
You don't
He
have a
was
slave
German.
girl to kill.
He was German,
with-
so I think
to
we need
go
to be
with
more
them.
Bavarian.
That'd be interesting, though. I wonder what that'd be like if they can legally do that.
No,
You
is
can't-
my guess.
You can't set a
Yeah,
pyre in
'cause-
your yard. And
No, there's no
a funeral
chance.
pyre.
Well, with the
Because
Viking
burning a
funeral-
person is
Well,
there's got to be
yeah.
permits.
Well,
I'm sure.
also,
for that.
with the
You
Viking
need permits
funeral-
for fucking burning a tree.
Also, with the Viking funeral,
Shut up,
whenever
Kevin.
there was a Viking funeral, a slave girl had to be killed to go with him, with whoever died.
That's good that you're not going to add
Well,
anything.
It could be
to
that
this.
6-year-old
helpful.
cousin or whatever.
Wow.
I mean, that's not that hard.
Holy shit!
It's a niece.
Niece. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
Jeez, man, she's only just started. Give her
Well,
a chance.
she's already been damaged. She just saw a dead body, dude. That's
gotta-
got to be rough.
Well, no,
no,
look,
she's tainted. Might as
The
well
only-
end it now.
the only
this is going bad.
you're-
This is going
awful.
really
you're being
bad.
terrible, and
I
the
feel
only thing
terrible.
the only thing that I can add to that is she does have a twin.
Oh.
So-
There you go. Yeah, so you're split
And that's
50-50.
that's
You still
horrible,
get one.
Tim.
It's
Why would
just
you put
getting
that thought
progressively
in
worse
it?
as we're covering this, and I'm feeling worse and worse about it. Oh my god!
I'm glad that you do, because I'm just going. I
That's
say things
awful.
and I say things for
That's
fun.
fucking awful.
I don't really
I
think about
we
the
should, though,
consequences of
consider
saying
that.
things.
A funeral
So,
pyre illegal in
the
in
twin.
Washington.
It's I guarantee, yeah. Look that up. We'll see if that's
So
on
the
there.
I'll look
twins. So
this up.
if you
No, we're
got
not
rid of
burning
one,
any
then
of the
you
kids.
could pretend like
dude.
the other one is
It's
the
a
other
terrible
one.
idea.
It's
Why
a
would you do
terrible
that?
idea. I don't know. You mentioned
Like she
the twin.
Freaky Friday'd her sister.
Yeah,
That's not going to happen.
Yeah, it worked in the movie.
First off, in the movie, it was mother and daughter.
Yeah,
It's not
that's
the same
true.
thing,
That's
dude.
True. That's true. I mean,
All right,
guess
real
we could-
quick.
yeah.
Ready?
Let's see.
In Washington State, while traditional cremation and burial are common, there are also options like natural organic reduction, also known as human composting,
Yeah,
Oh,
that's not the
fun.
same thing.
and alkaline hydrolysis, also known as water cremation.
Yeah, I
Funeral
don't think
pyres and cremations.
probably only on like Native American land.
Let's see. Open air cremation. While there are no regulations specifically for open air cremations
I'm
in Washington
surprised.
State, and it is not a permitted method of final disposition. Disposition?
Final Destination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Disposition outside cemeteries. It's still.
So the pyre is a no-go.
Yeah, no pie.
Because even
I
though they
think
say
you
that there's
can.
no regulations, there's also no permit
There's
for
something
it.
about scattering at sea and scattering in general.
Well, yeah, but that's. I mean, who's going to stop you on that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
like you can
what
do.
about-
I just watched somebody that they did that with a friend.
Uh-huh.
They were skydiving friends, all of them, and they went. Like 3 of the friends held the bag that the remains were in,
Uh-huh.
and they, it was all pulverized bone at this point. And at some point they pulled a ripcord on that, and then the remains went, and that's apparently how their friend wanted to go.
I see.
Oh, skydiving?
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of those videos.
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool thing to
Yeah,
do.
well, and they
So-
were all friends at Skydive, so it made sense.
Yeah.
So I have a question. So is it legal now if you don't cremate the person or pulverize the bone, all that kind of thing?
Well, that's what cremation is.
or whatever. Yeah, that.
Not
that.
whatever. That's
Yeah,
what it is.
That cremation.
It's not ashes, you dumb
so
shit.
cremation.
What are you,
any-
3?
cremation. Sometime. Well, I mean, no, I'm not 3.
Oh,
but anyway,
it's good that we have a mentally retarded producer.
So no, what I'm the question is, what if you don't? What if you don't cremate
Thank
them?
you. You finally brought it in.
What if you don't cremate them? Can you still scatter?
No.
Just chunks?
Yes.
Well,
Like
Are you-
chop
are
it, chop
you-
up, and
are you-
then scatter.
Are
and
you
go
saying
William
places?
Wallace
drawn
style?
quarter?
Yeah,
Drawn quarter,
is what
yeah,
that's
why
called.
not?
You're just quartering at that point. No, that's
Quartering,
not legal.
yeah. Do we know?
I'll look
Pretty
it
sure
up.
we can look up and see if you can draw and quarter
It's,
someone.
concerning open air cremation, it's not illegal. It's not legal in the United States in general. So yeah, but you can find people that do provide a service legally.
Yeah. It says, though, in Washington State it's not permitted.
Yeah.
So my guess is no anywhere in Washington State. Now,
There
except
is
for...
no legality against
Damn.
having a Viking funeral in the United States.
Yeah, but the funeral pyre is what they say that there's
Yeah.
no regulations. However, it's not permitted
okay.
Yeah,
either.
you're not allowed to do it, but you can still do a Viking burial.
Yeah,
okay,
which is
like
not,
on a boat, shoot
Yep.
a flaming arrow out there.
It looks
and
like that's allowed.
Yeah,
Wow.
my
Hey,
dad
that's
was
kinda
never
cool.
into that stuff, so no.
But still, it's
Oh.
kind of cool idea.
No, my dad was into hunting, like outdoorsy stuff. I mean, before his knee got all fucked up.
Well, turn him into black powder, dude.
No, I've actually I was thinking about that as we were talking about the skydiving thing. I was like, well, why not? Because I've got his reloading stuff. I could reload some of the ashes and fire those. Maybe go on a hunt.
Take out
and
an
maybe
elk.
get
put
it.
him with some pyrite. Or
take
what else
out
that
an
stuff that
elk with
explodes
him.
when
No,
you shoot it?
No, that's not pyrite. But what the fuck? Now I can't remember what it's
I
called.
shouldn't have said pyrite.
No,
because
if
fucked me
that
up, too.
that because it's something close enough
Yeah,
to that.
tannerite.
Tannerite. There we go.
Tannerite, yeah.
Throw him in with some
okay.
tannerite and blow him up.
No, I don't think you would like that.
No,
I think you would like more. I mean, if I took it.
21 gun salute.
No, if like I was saying, if I took it with one of his hunting rifles, went and got a fucking deer, with some of his ashes in there.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And then eat the deer.
Yeah,
That would be awesome.
Crazy, dude.
that would be a little weird.
Serve the deer to his niece.
Oh,
Your niece.
Wow.
Jesus, you're just getting it worse and worse, man.
Let's keep going. Let's see how bad we can go. Let's see how fucking bad we can
Tim,
go.
for the guy that
Jeez
wanted to get
Louise.
off this subject, you're the one that seems to be bringing it back down
Oh
every
my
time.
God. I'm weird when it comes to death because I'm terrible. I can't handle
You're
death at
terrible.
all.
Well, you gotta also.
So I
under-
really have to like I have to make light of it because I'm deathly afraid of it. Like,
Well, I'm also-
I am
I
not
think
good
most
with death
of
at
us
all.
have a
I'm
bit of a
somewhat
fear of death.
similar to it. Like I remember telling Jared about it, and he was like, "Dude, I don't know what to say about it." I was like, "Do you think I know what to say? I don't."
Yeah.
Nobody
I don't know what-
does on these
I
situations.
was like, "It doesn't matter what you say."
I get
you know.
awkward.
Well, and then he just
get
said,
really
"Look,
awkward.
if you need anything," I go, "I get that. That's probably the best you can say."
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think you can really say anything, and nothing's gonna make me go, "Oh, you're right. Everything's better."
Right.
It's not
Yeah,
gonna
no,
happen.
of course
That's
not.
the thing. I fucked up one time when my ex's parents, they had 2 wiener dogs, and one of them died. And we went on a vacation.
And you put it in a bun.
Well, no, we went on vacation the next week, right? They had to put their dog down, and then they brought their second dog with them to this vacation home in Sun River.
And you
but
kicked
didn't-
it to death.
It didn't allow pets. So basically, when they brought him, I was like, "I'm sorry, your dog can't stay here. We'll just have to put this one down too."
That sounds like something I would have said.
Yeah, and I thought it'd be funny, but then it clicked. I'm like, "Wow, that was really fucked up to say to someone who just put their dog down."
Yeah.
And my ex was she gave me the worst dagger. She's like, "What the fuck were
Yeah.
you thinking?"
Believe me, I know the feeling because
Yeah.
I've definitely said things like that at the
Yeah.
time, and
I'm
then
very awkward when it comes to death. I don't handle it well at all. So
I mean, I think I probably handle it better than most people, but at the same time, you know, it still sucks.
Yeah,
it's
of
not,
course. It's not
going to
be
be
good.
At all. Yeah, there's nothing beneficial about it
No.
at all, really.
Well,
To loved ones, anyway. I
Yeah,
mean, to your
well,
enemies,
yeah.
they're like, "Fuck yeah."
and we went into the funeral home. They asked, you know, if I wanted to go see the body, and I was like, I'd prefer to
It's
just
not him.
I'd prefer to just remember him
Yep.
alive.
Yeah.
That's how I was with my
You know.
grandfather. Yeah.
That's how I felt with my grandparents and stuff
Yeah.
too, and my uncle when he died, because he was a weird dude, but he was cool. Like-
Touchy.
Yeah,
Yeah, they tend to be that
but
way.
not like it was almost creepy, but not creepy. You know what I mean? Like he was that guy that was like,
ass back
it was not that creepy.
Yes.
Yes.
But it was weird too the way that my uncle died. He was just driving to work and they just found him in a field. Like his truck had ran through the fence and
Oh,
fucking
wow.
everything.
Jesus.
You know, found out he had a heart attack on the way to work.
Yeah.
What a way to go.
Yeah, it was, I mean, weird way.
Could have taken some people with him.
Yeah. Yeah, because he was, I mean, I think it was off of 72nd, so it was like on a main fucking road where you're doing 50. And I don't think there was any brakes applied. And, you know, so, I mean, that one was definitely a weird one.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I feel the same way. I don't know what to say to someone.
Right.
I mean, how do you? Like,
I mean,
There's
for ways to
not
go,
much you can
peacefully in
say.
your sleep is a pretty way to go. Pretty
Yeah.
good
Oh,
way to go.
absolutely.
I will say
Absolutely.
that. But I wouldn't want. I don't know. Again, me going the wrong way with it, I better stop. So
why?
news.
What were you gonna say?
I was
news.
gonna say, like, your dreams would fucking crazy dreams, dude. Could you imagine what kind of crazy dreams you would have before
Like
you
right
died?
before death?
Yeah, in your sleep.
Well, yeah, because they say that like if as you're dying, you see weird shit.
Yeah.
Well, it's because DMT gets dumped into your.
That's what I'm saying. And then
Yeah.
not to mention the amount that you're already
But we don't know any of that
REM,
for sure.
so you can only
Well,
imagine
no,
what that would
they
go.
know that DMT.
No, I understand
does,
that,
but
but
we don't know.
We don't know any of it really for sure because how can you see what they see?
No,
Right.
you know what
I'm
I
saying?
agree. I agree. Yeah, we don't
We
know
haven't
what
gotten that
happens.
technology
You know,
yet, but
No.
we probably
No.
will eventually.
Maybe.
We won't because the
maybe not.
robots will kill us before we
yeah,
get
that's,
there.
That's probably true.
Yeah, so we can only
Speaking
hope
of
for that.
robots that might kill
Well,
us,
so
that's not it.
Okay. Well, we were getting into news, but now I guess we'll go.
I was
to that.
trying to segue
Um,
when we had a good segue.
So
Yeah, I just kind of jumped the gun with the whole news thing.
Yeah.
Kevin. That
No,
was
that's
my
fine,
bad.
that's fine.
That was my bad.
Well,
It's fine. We'll get to
fucked
news
up.
anyway.
Because realistically, he was bringing it down so much.
I was what was going fucking.
You were
foul.
you were saying fucked up things, and I appreciate that. I
Yeah.
do. Look,
Oh, you appreciate that? It's me that was bringing it down,
yes,
not
the
the,
guy,
fucked up
guy
shit.
over here going, man, that sucks. And I'm like, yeah, it does. Look, I'm going through this.
Yeah.
You're the one going, pouty. Anyway, bring the fucking
Okay.
Dark Factory
Get
up.
to it, Kevin.
So-
Jesus,
so
man.
What's
robots.
going on?
Lighten
robots.
things up here, because for fuck's sake, dude.
Crazy domestic terrorism shit.
Yeah. There's been a whole lot of that.
Well, so Tesla dealerships are being targeted, and Tesla owners are being targeted.
Yes.
On top of it, one of the things they did, we talked about last week, where they were doxing Tesla owners and fucking
On that
putting that
website.
on a website.
Yeah.
That website's down now,
Mhm.
as far as I know. But the crazy thing I'm seeing online in the chatter about it is the back and forth between people that go, no, this isn't domestic terrorism at all. And it's like,
Yeah.
if you read the definition of terrorism, it is to cause fear. What is it? Either using violence, or what's the other portion of that?
Violence, arson, and just destruction of property,
Yeah, to-
destruction of buildings and public property, that
Yeah.
sort of thing.
and to a political gain
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
political means.
To push a political idea
Yep.
or stance or something.
And
which this is absolutely falls under that definition.
well, which is one of the reasons why I always had the argument against like school shootings. Those technically are not terrorism acts.
No.
They're not.
No.
They definitely terrorize, but they're not based on it. I mean, unless they're all politically driven.
It's I think it more falls under like a spree killing.
It's just
something
crazy
like that,
shit.
Yeah.
Oh, you found it?
Definition of domestic terrorism. The actual definition of domestic terrorism involves violent acts that are inspired by domestic influences such as political, religious, social, racial, or environmental goals.
Boom. Falls right under
And
that.
then terrorism itself is the use of violence or threats of violence to achieve political or ideological goals.
And I would say that burning things up and blowing things up.
Definitely an ideology.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, they don't like Musk.
Yeah, exactly. And
They loved him,
yeah.
10 years ago? That's why
They
they all
did.
bought his cars.
I think
Yeah.
even less than that.
Yeah, I think it was less than that.
Because during the first Trump presidency, they still liked Elon.
like they used to call him, he was the left's darling
Yeah.
at one point.
That's what I mean. All the lefts were buying his fucking cars.
Absolutely.
Well, not just that. They all still wanted to go to space. Now they don't want to
Yeah.
go to space. They're just already in space.
Yeah.
His brains are
Well,
rotting.
and then a lot of the stuff that was happening during the BLM riots also could be considered political or domestic
Well,
terrorism
it's
as
not
well.
considered they were.
Yeah.
Fiery but peaceful protests.
Fiery but peaceful protests.
Well,
that
no,
was the most ridiculous thing ever.
My favorite one was the reporter standing there. This mostly peaceful protest as shit's burning behind him, and you're
Yeah.
hearing breaking windows.
Yep.
You're like, what? That'd be like being in Ukraine and being like, it's a mostly peaceful war.
Yeah,
as you're
yeah.
seeing somebody get mowed down in a trench, and then fucking, in drops the fucking drones and
Yeah,
shit.
fucking kamikaze drone just
Yeah.
takes 3 people out.
They're selling those on the TikTok shop now.
Drones?
Kamikaze drones.
Oh yeah, I've been seeing a lot
What
of
the
those.
fuck?
Yep. They actually have a fake bomb attached to it. They show the video of it flying over, aiming and dropping. And I think you can purchase it for $59.99.
That'd be fun as shit for airsoft.
Yeah,
Oh
airsoft.
yeah. Airsoft, that would be kind of cool.
That's everything that I do is air. It's all air.
Yeah.
I cosplay
Yeah.
as an
Well,
airsofter.
and there's also a lot of independent journalists now that are actually on either side of the war, on the Ukrainian side and Russian side, that are broadcasting video. And there was this really interesting one. This guy's on the Russian side, and he's an American reporter. And he was in a truck, a pickup with these Russian soldiers, and they got chased by a Ukrainian drone, and these guys are shooting at it, and they actually shot it down. But everybody in the truck was like, "Oh fuck, we almost fucking died, guys!" Like it got
That's
really
a war
close.
crime. I swear to God, there's no way that can be a valid means of war. That's terrible.
It technically
it's-
isn't.
Yeah, drone warfare is terrifying.
And I think the reason being behind it is because it's so new of a technology that if you look into like the Geneva Conventions and all this shit, it's technically it's just a pinpoint artillery piece.
Yeah, they didn't. I mean, those things didn't exist when those agreements.
I
were
mean, we
made.
had those drones that were piloted that did like airstrikes and shit like that.
Yeah.
UAVs.
UAVs.
Yeah, but
I also know a
this
lot
is
of.
completely different.
Yeah, exactly.
I know a lot of people that actually believe that those were war crimes too.
Yeah, well,
Because we were dropping them on fucking like I don't know weddings and you know
Villages full of innocent people. And
guys sitting in an
you know.
air-conditioned office. Just there goes another family.
there's no air conditioning. Afghanistan.
What? Some of them were from. I mean, I saw a movie with Ethan Hawke where he was one of those pilots, and he was literally in Las Vegas and flying.
I thought you were talking about dropping it on an air conditioned office.
No,
I was like, yeah,
being flown from an air-conditioned office or piloted, I guess you could say.
They're usually piloted out of
shipping containers.
yeah, shipping containers that are set up specifically for that. They're out in like the Arizona desert and shit.
Yeah.
Oh well, on some of these the reporters that are with some of these soldiers, like the one that was with the Russian soldiers, he went to one of these drone operators and he was hanging out with him and just seeing what he's doing day to day, you know. And this guy was literally in like this little shack that they had dug like a lower portion out, you know, for a little, you know, to be a little more hidden. But he was sitting in there. He had a bed, like closet. They had a TV going in the background with like Russian like comedy shows on, and he's just doing his thing, piloting
America's
the drone.
Funniest Home Videos.
And yeah, but
Nothing but Bob Saget.
Yeah, but he's just piloting the drone. He's like, oh yeah, we're trying to blow these two guys out of this little spider hole that they dug, and you know I'm about to drop like 3 more grenades on them, and you know, and it's just all casual, you know, just
It's
day-to-day
terrifying.
shit. Yeah.
And speaking of the psychological aspect of it, I mean, the video that we watched on here, I don't know, a month ago, of the 2 North Korean soldiers,
Oh yeah.
where the drone is just fucking with them until one shoots the other
Yeah.
by accident. You know, he's trying to shoot the drone, ends up shooting his friend, and then they go and blow the other guy up.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, 2 for 1.
Yeah.
I mean, they usually try to get him in a group anyway.
But yeah, the drone warfare has really
Do you
changed
think
the
that's
game.
that's the next step for these domestic terrorists with their firebombs and shit like
Yeah,
that?
Just dropping them with
Why
drones.
not just fly a fucking drone in there? And do
Dude,
it?
I
don't
would
wanna
not
put
be
any
su-
ideas in someone's head.
I would not be
Whoops.
surprised if that kind of shit would start happening.
Wow.
All it takes is one savvy person that goes,
Doesn't even need to be savvy.
no, savvy enough. So instead of going with the old school way of let's throw Molotov cocktails or let's get up close and burn things, a savvy guy that's like, why would we want to do that? I could fly it from here. The problem with that, they could probably trace those signals.
Oh, that's true. And in the war over Ukraine-Russian war, they are doing that. Like both armies, when they find a drone, when the drone's coming at them, you know, and they take it out, they then can triangulate and figure out like a range of what that drone probably had, and they can go search for the pilot and kill him. And they've been doing that.
Well, they also, if they catch one of those guys, it's not good for that person.
No, they
Both
usually
sides-
just kill him.
Well,
you know?
I'm sure they fuck
Often
them up
enough.
first.
Oh, for sure.
Big time.
No, they don't. No, that'd be a war crime.
Wow. I mean, I remember when Russia was in Syria, I watched war crimes from them.
There's always war crimes in war.
Well, yes, but they're usually not televised.
No.
This one, they captured somebody and they're just trying to hit him with a fucking sledgehammer. So it's obviously Wagner Group. I mean, that's who did that. Wagner Group's the one that we ended up fucking killing like 220 of them or whatever that, which is
that the PMC group?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's really technically part of the Russian military. They're just far enough removed to where we can be like, well, we didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
type of thing. And so they can commit
They
those war
got
crimes.
deniability.
Yes. Until they killed the fucking leader of it by crashing his plane. You know, like that's the thing. They'll do in Russia. They'll do anything.
Yeah.
You know, Putin. I mean, he's radioactively poisoned people and fucking. You know, it's just wild shit.
Yeah, he learned a lot from the KGB.
Well, imagine if either side brought that here. Like, the shit that's going on with Tesla would be fucking way crazier.
Oh, absolutely.
You'd be seeing like CEOs or board members get dropping.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be like Luigi Mangione all over again.
Oh yeah, it'd be like basically the mob, but with CEOs and like corporate guys getting gunned down and they're car bombed and all this other shit
with homemade printed suppressors.
Yes. But okay, so back on the Tesla thing though, because of all the fact that this has been widespread now, it's getting worse and worse. The FBI is now launching a task force, and they are going to be going hard after people that are committing these crimes.
Well, they should. Here's the other thing that's funny about the whole people attacking Tesla stuff. Teslas have a thing called Sentry Mode. And if your vehicle's in Sentry Mode, it's recording everything that's going on around it at all times.
Is that how that guy? Do you hear about the guy that keyed the Tesla and got arrested?
Yeah, that's going on a lot, dude. There's so many people doing that shit.
Is that how he got caught?
Yes.
Okay, the Sentry Mode.
Most of the videos that you're seeing from like a low perspective and catching the vandal doing whatever.
Yeah.
That's from the Sentry Mode. That's from Tesla. It records automatically to a server. That server saves it automatically, and there you go. Now you've put evidence of yourself doing something.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that guy, somebody walked up to him, saw him, and was like, "Hey, dude, you're all over the internet. Like, why'd you key that Tesla?" And the guy's like, "Oh, I didn't do that." And he's like, No, it was you. Like, everybody's been watching the video. Like, it's definitely you. Yeah. And he just kind of walked away grumbling, but he ended up getting arrested.
I ended up watching one that was similar to that one, almost to the T.
Yeah.
Dude went and keyed a Tesla in town. Was out of state guy, and they're like, "We've got, your husband needs to come out here to the wife. We've got video of you doing this." And he's like, "Oh shit," and then he gets arrested and taken in because the person wanted to prosecute. They're like, "No, this is fucked up."
Absolutely.
All because I think they had a Trump bumper sticker on it or some shit like that.
It's ridiculous the way people respond. Like we were talking before, the Trump derangement syndrome. How if Trump's name's tied to it, it's bad.
Yeah.
And it needs to be destroyed and ended. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous the way people are reacting to this. Because, again, 80% of them are all left-leaning anyway? Tesla owners?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. That's why they purchased the electric cars, which the Republicans hated. They thought, electric cars are stupid, and I still believe that. They're a far larger carbon footprint than a fucking diesel engine. That's for fucking sure.
Well, you want to know what else is also a big carbon footprint? Burning fucking Tesla batteries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That goes, if you're environmentally friendly, you don't want to be burning those and putting that into the atmosphere.
That's what I'm saying. It's not only counterproductive, but it's going exactly against the exact things you quote unquote believe in.
Yeah. Well, also just having to, when you get rid of these cars and have to like destroy them or they sit in like a junkyard for years.
Yeah.
Those things sitting there actually cause real damage to the environment too, because it's happening over in China where they're pumping out all these electric vehicles and then they just leave them in these fields, like hundreds and thousands of them, because nobody's buying them. But they're putting them out. They're making them so that they can pump their numbers up and stuff. Artificially.
Yeah, they're trying to make a quota. You have to,
exactly.
Like I think dealerships had to do that. There was a law passed where they have to sell at least a certain percentage of electric trucks in order to stay in business.
I think California is the worst for that.
It's so dumb. And that's $100,000 fucking truck.
Yeah.
Well, do you guys remember in talking about like environmental impacts and shit like that? Do you guys remember there was that company that was an up-and-comer as Tesla was fairly well known at the time. But it was down in Florida when one of the tornadoes hurricanes came through, and their entire place flooded and every car caught fire because of the fucking lithium and water, doesn't mix.
That's a no-no.
Yeah.
But every single car, and that company went under because of that. Not just because of the water, but went under because of the whole fucking fire going on. But I mean, it literally burned like, I'd say like 90% of their inventory, and everything else is a loss anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, salt water touching fucking vehicles,
Yeah.
that haven't been
Bad.
sold
Rusted
yet.
out and
Yeah.
destroyed.
Yeah, and it doesn't take long at all with
Well,
saltwater.
it's not only firebombs. They're shooting Tesla dealerships up, like drive-by shootings and shit like that. That's happened a lot in Portland. They're just shooting at cars. They're just shooting at Teslas.
I think Portland, they just want a reason to shoot.
Yeah, it could be.
Well,
I mean,
They're going to lose their rights soon anyway.
I mean, a lot of the
That's true.
people in Portland. I mean, not everybody, but quite a few people in Portland are just mentally ill. They have been absolutely ideologically entrenched and have become mentally ill.
when I used to love going to Portland,
I did too. It used to be a wonderful city.
and I didn't care about it wasn't left right. I didn't give a
No.
shit about any of that.
No.
It's the whole keep Portland weird. I was fine with it. Was great at the time.
Yeah, it was.
Now it's
yeah,
gone downhill.
absolutely. It's become.
I hate it for
like-
the same reasons I did 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah,
I just don't like seeing homeless people piss on themselves and on the side of the road. It's
Well,
fucking disgusting.
It was never as bad as it's gotten.
I was gonna say back then you should have just stayed out of Chinatown then.
No, I was at 7-Eleven right next to where I work. Just watched the homeless dude go in and piss his pants. It's like, God, I fucking hate this town.
Where was that 7-Eleven?
Right by the grotto,
I don't know where the grotto is.
82nd and Sandy.
Okay, so no, it's not the one I'm thinking of because
That's
there was
a nice neighborhood too.
well, there was one 7-Eleven that I would go to all the time when I'd go down skateboarding. There was a homeless guy that just hung out there, and he was obviously fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So anytime we would skate there, it'd be like, what the fuck is this guy gonna snap today?
Yeah, right.
You know. And then
Which one of us is gonna get stabbed?
I got trespassed
Oh, did you?
for skateboarding there.
Oh, okay.
They didn't like it.
Yeah, you can't skateboard, but you can set up a tent in the middle of the fucking sidewalk and
Yeah,
piss and
yeah,
shit on the side of
exactly.
it. That's fine.
I think that's why he got away with it. He didn't have a tent. I think he used newspapers, so that's okay.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I
That
don't,
place is so upside down.
Oh yeah, Portland's just it's a trash heap now. It's
well, I remember the 90s. It was all about the gang violence.
Eh,
It was.
in Portland,
Yeah. In
I mean,
the late
it
80s,
happened,
early
but-
90s, the gang violence was pretty bad.
huh.
that might have been the narrative. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't
From
know
what
much
I
about it.
remember of that time, I know one of my mom's friends, ended up like she wore red on one of the Maxes, and fucking could have lost her life based on how she reacted to it, because she was like, I'm not taking this, that type of shit. But there was a lot of gang violence and stuff down there, like stabbings and shit on Maxes and shootings constantly. It happened all the
It still
time.
happens to
It
this
still
day.
it still does, but it died down in like the late 90s, early 2000s on the gang side. But then you had all this other stuff that they started, like the policy started shifting and allowing more homeless and stuff. Now
Yeah.
you've got the overdoses, the fucking drug crimes. So
the far leftists.
yeah, I don't
The
know.
blue hairs.
Yes.
Yeah, but they're allowing it. What was that?
Well,
term?
right, but they're still causing violence. Like you have Antifa and all these other groups down there that
Yeah.
have been causing issues for years now.
I know. Why can't we go back to the days where I was just like, oh, you just had skins and sharps?
Oh yeah, exactly. I
That was
remember
it.
them. Yeah.
That was like all you had to worry about.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, is that bald guy a skin or a sharp?
Yeah.
If it's a sharp, this is cool. If it's not, uh-oh.
I don't follow.
Oh,
Those
skinheads
Two
and
different
sharps.
gangs that were down there.
Was it?
Yeah.
Sharps were skinheads against racial prejudice.
Yeah, they would beat up the Nazis.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
But they dressed like them.
Yes.
Gotta fit in.
You didn't know. You just didn't know which one was which
Yeah,
until
yeah.
you got
You gotta check
wait.
their laces.
No, well that actually was I think true. I think that
Yeah.
actually was true. Like on the Doc Martens, because that was like the thing they wore.
We knew a guy that was hanging around the Sharps.
Is that Myrick?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
He's such a
He's
dipshit.
such an idiot.
Remember when he went to jail and decided to join a prison gang in jail? He was in jail for 2 days.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's like, I had to join the whites.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you talking about?
You're in county, dude.
you're in county lockup.
I know.
What the fuck, dude? He's the first guy that would just immediately be like, oh, you're going to protect me? I'll blow you. It's just fucking insane. Yeah,
Oh, man.
I don't understand that shit at all.
This guy. He was a pathological liar. He would just make shit up, just so that you would, whoever he was around, he would make shit up to try to impress them.
Yes.
And it was always awful. He
For
was so
no-
terrible.
For no reason other than at the time you couldn't check it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we, at the time, we didn't have the easy access to the every internet site that we do now.
Right.
So he would be able to just make anything up and be like, yeah, this is what I did. This is how cool I am. I think it comes from the fact that like his mom and him, they always had to lie to his dad.
Yeah,
because
Dad
of it.
was a military
Dad,
guy.
military guy, also an alcoholic that would have beat the fuck out of him, I think.
I'm pretty sure that.
But that could
was
have been
going
made
on.
up too, because he made up.
It could have been
everything.
made up.
A whole
Yeah.
family of liars.
Yep.
Remember how scared he got?
Oh, I remember that. That was hilarious. But I think we talked about that on the show once before.
Probably.
So yeah, the Tesla issue is just been getting worse and worse, and now the FBI is getting on it, and the federal government is going to start, dropping the hammer on these people, which they should.
And it should be charged as domestic terrorists.
I agree. These people should go away and go away for a long time.
And I would feel the same way if they were going in, if it was a right-leaning side going and firebombing fucking...
Abortion clinics.
Yeah.
well,
Same-
and
yeah,
that's always been a
absolutely.
terrorist
Yeah.
move. Or going to Starbucks. They're like, we don't like your fucking Happy Seattle coffee.
Right.
Okay, fine. Don't shop there. That should be the way that this works. Oh, you don't like Tesla? Don't fucking shop there.
Our camera froze there for just a second.
Typically boycotts
Weird.
do really well.
Yeah.
I don't think they do.
Well,
Better than firebombing.
Yes. I'll agree with that.
Actually, boycotts can do really well, but the only problem is you need to have the momentum. You need to
Yes.
have a lot of people getting involved in it for it to really have make a dent.
Don't buy gas day. That's supposed to bring the price of gasoline down when everyone on a certain day doesn't purchase gas.
Yeah, except
which
that
never fucking works.
if I'm on E, I'm gonna buy gas. I have shit to do.
I'm not gonna prepare for it.
The
a week
Bud
in
Light
advance.
boycott thing that actually did put
That
a
made
dent
some changes.
into
Well, that
Bud
one
Light.
was huge.
It
dude.
was.
I mean,
But that's what I mean. You need that kind of momentum to really have an effect. Obviously, a company as big
Shane
as Bud
Gillis
Light you
saved
need
that place.
more, but
Shane Gillis definitely did. The other thing about that whole thing is read the fucking room.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Your Bud Light is like a college party drink.
yeah.
Or a redneck, good old boy.
Right.
drink.
Yeah,
exactly.
You have basically those two demographics,
Yeah.
and you're like, hey, why don't we put this trans person on?
Annoying trans person.
It's like, what the fuck? That is not gonna work.
The in your face.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm
Yeah.
trans.
Yeah.
Notice me because I'm
The
trans.
person that's obviously just trying to get
the trans person, the
attention.
trans people are like, Jesus, this person's annoying as hell.
Yeah. Well, and
Yeah, but they wouldn't say it out loud
Of
because
course not.
you know what I mean.
Gays have the same thing. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my
Well,
God,
yeah.
this person is fucking gay.
Yeah.
Because
Well-
they're sucking a dude's dick.
No, they're not even that. They're just walking down the street in fucking like Daisy Dukes
Yeah.
and combat boots.
Yeah.
Fucking
What are you doing?
and
Well-
one of those shirts that's all tied up like this.
Yeah, and a tutu or
And
something
going,
like that.
hey guys, and you're
Right.
like, what the fuck? You're like, there might be a line where you're too gay.
Well, and the thing is, it's the serious trans folks should be pissed off with these people because those people give their whole movement a bad name. And,
Well, that's
and,
the same thing
you
with
know,
us.
When
I
they
mean, the
lose
white
credibility.
Guys, the white guys hate the fucking skinheads.
Yeah.
They give us a bad name.
Well, that's true. That's true.
That's every demographic has their extremists that make the whole demographic look like shit.
Yeah, Montel Williams and your completely shaved head.
Yeah. I don't get that.
Montel Williams.
I don't get the reference at all.
You skinheads.
Oh.
Montel Williams,
Oh yeah, he was a skinhead.
completely shaved head.
Was he black?
Yeah.
That's the joke.
Oh.
Follow along. Kevin got it.
Wah, wah, wah.
Actually, speaking of like kind of bald black dudes, George Foreman died.
He did.
I thought he was already dead.
Oh.
No, George Foreman died a couple days ago.
Oh.
Oh man.
Yeah.
All the greats are dying.
And he named
off, man.
all of his kids George.
Did he?
All of
really?
them. He had like 5 kids. Even the daughter's name's George. Named everyone.
Georgiana.
No, George.
Oh.
All of them George.
He's a simple man with simple things.
I think it's because he was a boxer and he got hit in the head a lot of times.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can remember my name.
That has nothing to do
Made a
with
great grill though.
Dude.
Did he though?
George Foreman Grill. That was
Yeah,
a great thing.
that actually made it
He
more.
didn't make it.
I know, but
no, but still, I mean, it's his
It was
name is
supposed
on
to be
it.
the Hogan Grill, the
Yes.
Hollywood Hogan.
Was it
Hulk Hogan
originally
was supposed to
supposed
do it.
It
Oh,
made
whoa.
so much more money for him than boxing ever did.
Absolutely.
Well, it's like a Dre. Dre's headphones made more
Yeah,
money for him.
that's
Yeah.
how he became a billionaire.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Beats.
But yeah, man, the George Foreman Grill's pretty damn good.
well, I think
I used to have one.
George Foreman, at least I think had like $500 million from that.
Yeah, I believe it, man. They
You
sold
know?
like crazy.
Yeah. Well, you could cook things fast.
Yeah.
It was
yeah.
a-
No,
it was an
and
indoor grill.
Yeah, it genuinely was a good grill. But, you know,
Yeah, Hogan's kicking himself,
I bet he is.
dude. He's like, I made a porn with my friend's wife.
And a really
My son's a
crappy
murderer.
reality
My
show.
wife's a slut. My daughter's a slut.
And my daughter looks just like me. She looks fucking crazy.
She does have a very
Masculine,
pronounced jaw.
masculine features.
Yeah,
but I think
she
his
does.
son's still in jail for killing that person.
Didn't he hit it with the car?
Yeah, ran
Yeah.
someone over. Fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, the wife that he banged, it was Bubba the Love
Yes.
Sponge's wife, right?
And they said that's where he said the N-word too, like during that. Like, and that was the thing that got him in trouble. It wasn't the fucking his wife.
Not the screwing Bubba's wife. It
I'm
was
not
the
even
N-word.
joking about that. That's insane, right?
It's crazy.
Celebrities are crazy, man.
I know.
Yeah, I never understood like I never understood the fanfare, the like fanboying and fangirling over a celebrity.
Well, the fact
never.
that they like make a show about that family blows my fucking mind.
Me too.
About
I
any
mean,
celebrity
yeah.
family, the Ozzy Osbournes, the fucking
Yeah.
Hogans, anyone that says, "Hey, that'd be a great idea. Let's have a camera crew in our house nonstop and film our interactions on a daily basis."
Film their just life.
The fucking
you know?
Kardashians, for fuck's sake.
Blame
dude.
MTV. MTV
Yeah.
started all
Oh,
of
we
this.
MTV
drink it
did
up.
start
That's
it
the
all.
thing.
Yep.
Blame the viewership, dude.
Well, I agree.
Good
we
point.
we as the audience fucking strive on that shit,
But
dude.
don't say we. I don't watch any of that shit.
You
'cause
never
it
watched
never made any
Hollywood
sense.
Hogan's or Hulk
No.
Hogan's TV show.
Never, not once.
Not the Osbournes.
I've seen bits and pieces,
I
but that's just because
saw-
it was on,
I saw
and
some,
not from me.
I saw some of the Osbournes back in the day.
Yeah.
But
Because
I
everyone
think I
loved
only-
Ozzy's.
That's pretty fucking close. And the funny thing is, he said something profound every
yeah.
time. Every time. It was always like a
He was an
Hemingway.
oracle, for fuck's sake. It's just no one understood him.
Yeah, he was fucking. He was tossing out like poetry, like Frost.
No, he's actually predicting the future to a T, and like people go back and look at it and translate it.
No,
and
we-
they're like, oh my god, he predicted 9/11.
We come to find out he was actually speaking an ancient dead language the entire time.
Oh, he's one of the originations of the
pyramid?
thing.
yes, yes.
It's because
Now-
of Osborne. It's like Ozzy Osbourne and this fucking pyramid
Go
shit
back
going
now.
on.
Season 1, episode 7.
Yeah, right.
Columns and spirals. And you're like,
Anunnaki.
did he say something? Yeah, the Anunnaki.
Yeah.
I know that's Rogan's like one of his favorite
Yeah.
fucking ones.
But speaking of the pyramids, now there has been a massive development
Here
with the
comes the
Egyptian
naysaying.
pyramids. And that is the fact that the scientists have found with this new
Atlantis.
form of yes, Atlantis in Egypt.
What was
they've-
it? Technically in Africa.
In this new watch, I don't remember exactly where it was supposed to be, but anyway, so they apparently found the structures underneath the pyramids, Giza, and a couple of the other ones as well. I guess the ones that are closest to
There's
Giza.
3 of them.
Yeah, and these things are enormous. Now, they don't know who built them, but these things go 2 kilometers deep, directly down into the ground, into the bedrock.
The weird thing is too is the top starts as columns and spirals,
Yes.
and they don't know what those are for.
No.
And they go down about 600 meters,
Uh-huh.
right? So the next 1.4
That's
thousand meters is like
Mhm.
this super sized structure that's underneath
yes, and we've got right here a picture. See, this is the supersized structure down at the bottom. These like square shaped structures, and those are the parts that at the bottom of them is the bedrock.
Well, here's the-
and I mean, it's massive.
The wild thing about this is that there's been theories in the past that the pyramids were actually designed for like electrical production.
I've heard that theory.
What does this shit
What
look
is
like?
this?
But
Yeah.
what does this shit look like? It looks like things that you would have in electrical
Yeah, like
production.
these coils.
Yes.
And then, I mean, they're enormous. And the thing is that
oh, whoa, that's the actual image underneath.
yeah, here's the actual images that they got. Now this is
I don't know
so
how to
listen,
read this.
so it's extending. So okay, the team identified 8 descending wells about 33 to 39 feet in diameter, extending at least
hand-drawn.
2,130 feet below
hand-drawn.
the surface. The right image shows the wells, and the right feature points on where they are located under the pyramid. And so obviously you kind of need to know what you're looking at.
well, yeah,
to look
no,
at
that's actually what the MRI of my knee looked like.
yeah, I bet.
It's someone's sonogram is what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, look, the baby.
It's a
It's
boy.
showing.
So now,
Mazel tov.
okay. So now, apparently, what's interesting
Not in
about
Egypt.
this? So what got these scientists to want to look underneath the pyramids to see if anything was there is apparently in the Egyptian Book of the Dead there is mention of these structures underneath.
Does it mention
the-
what?
No, well, they say, let's see here. It says they said in chapter 149 of the Book of the Dead describes 14 dwellings of the divine, which the team interprets as describing remnants of an ancient civilization existing before dynastic Egypt. I mean, and see here, it also says it said the team also said they used Turn King List or Royal Canon, which is an ancient Egyptian document that features the name of kings, including gods and demigods who supposedly ruled Egypt before the first recorded dynasties. And I mean, let's see here. It also says the ancient texts provide a whole series of references that is about a pre-existing civilization that lived in the region before a cataclysmic event. Now,
And then showed where the Stargate is.
yeah, but now there's been a lot of talk. Like there's a lot of archaeologists as well as people like Graham Hancock and others who have talked about a possible cataclysmic event that happened 12,000 some odd years ago.
Yeah,
The Younger Dryas impact theory.
Yeah, where what they believed is all the flood myths
came
came from that because what
Yes.
happened is they believe is that up in the northern hemisphere where the Arctic like ice was,
It was just a giant ice sheet. Yeah.
basically like Canada was basically all glaciers at one
Yes.
point. And they believe
Yes.
that right around 11,000 years ago it was,
Uh-huh.
and that impact from asteroids or comets
Either
or
a
something
comet or asteroid, something like that.
came
Yeah.
down and melted basically everything up to like where the permafrost is.
Yes, and caused massive flooding throughout the whole world.
Yeah, which is
And,
why you would have flood myths in many cultures.
many cultures, many religions, all around the world have these myths, and which is why there so many people believe the Bible idea of the worldwide flood and stuff. Well, maybe not on that level, but still, it was. I mean,
Dude, we're gonna have to change that name just like the WWE did because worldwide flood.
WWF.
oh, you're right.
You can't do that. You gotta-
Worldwide experience.
no, that's WWE,
Oh,
dummy.
shit.
Worldwide,
Worldwide drenching.
worldwide drenching event.
Yes, there we go. There we go.
WWDE.
So it says at the end of the wells were massive rectangular
kinda word.
enclosures. Yeah, each measuring approximately 260 feet per side, according to the researchers. Each of these enclosures contain 4 shafts that extend from the top and descend
It'd be funny.
downward.
Aliens just put a giant dick down there to make fun of the Earth.
So the researchers believe that there are other structures reaching more than 4,000 feet below the surface. The scans captured structures extending along the northern side with a tuning fork shape.
You know, I really wish they would go with the same measurements on this because now we're in feet, and before that they were talking meters.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I wish they would keep them uniform.
Liberty units.
But at Liberty, it's
Like freedom fries.
Yep.
I remember those.
but it's just this is insane. This is This is a crazy discovery.
This bullshit is what it is.
And why say that?
It's just a steaming pile of bullshit because none of this is a valid means of exploration.
No, but Egypt won't allow it either.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
Egypt won't
saying.
allow anybody
All
to
of this
go
is
under
speculation. This is all
Well,
speculative.
It's not speculative though. They
It's less
did
speculation.
have technology that they're able to see these things with. It's
Yeah, because this is basically LiDAR on drugs.
yes.
The claim of using radar inside the pyramid is false.
Well, it's not radar.
And the techniques employed are neither scientifically approved or validated.
By who?
Say the top Egyptologists.
So
Yeah, but those
are
guys.
those Egyptologists from Egypt?
Yes.
Because they would like to keep the orthodoxy.
They actually the top people in Egypt have always been naysayers to everything.
Zahi Hawass is the main one.
Yeah, although he's coming around on some stuff.
He has been.
Yeah,
But that's because him
that's
and-
what this guy. That's the guy's name that said that.
Yeah.
Zahi Hawass. He's like the main. He's like very high up in the Egyptian.
He's also the one that allows and disallows people to do stuff there.
That's right. Yes.
Again, so none of this is. This is all unfounded. This is all
I mean,
speculative.
We found it.
But it's not
It's not, though.
speculative.
Yeah, that is.
though.
Those are cartoon images.
That's
Well,
not
okay,
a card.
no.
Go back up, Kevin. That is a fucking real image. That's real.
That's what it looks like, huh?
No,
So
that's
no,
the exact. It's a photo fucking image.
Obviously, a rendition of what they.
What are you
think
talking
is
about?
Of
down
what they
there.
what they think might be down there.
Well,
Not even
the
what
thing
they've
is,
seen.
The fact is,
Go back up.
The fact is, their technology
No, that's not
has
what I wanted.
found something massive underneath.
Yeah, compacted
pyramids.
fucking sand.
No, it's not. There's
No.
actually structures down there.
What's this, Tim?
I don't know what the hell I'm looking at. I'm looking at a blue screen with some red lights on it.
This is another MRI of my other knee.
Again, I don't know how to read those things anyway, but from what I'm understanding on my end, I think that I agree. This is all speculative and basically people just trying to sensationalize something that's not
trying to
there.
find
Trying to bring more
out
attention to
what the
Egypt
stuff
because
is
Egypt is a
called.
fucking armpit right now and it's disgusting.
But you're being.
It's covered in trash and people don't want to go there anymore.
No, that's India.
No, it's Egypt as well. Egypt is terrible now. Tourists hate the place because you're inundated by all these people trying to sell you shit or swindle you.
Yeah,
It's
there's
awful.
well, there's people that sell you trips to the top of the fucking pyramids, which you're not
Yeah.
supposed to do
And
anyway.
Here's a camel ride for free. They'll take you to the middle of the desert and say, well, the camel ride back is going to cost you $100.
Yeah, no, I don't doubt that, but this I don't think has anything to do with it.
I think it does. I think they're trying to bring tourism back to Egypt because of this nonsense.
Yeah,
Well,
but what would you be touring? You're not seeing any of that.
Well, it's, again, to remind people, hey, the pyramids are still here. We still got cool stuff. Our food might make you, shit your insides out. And our culture is terrible and we'll treat you like garbage, but we'll certainly take your money.
I think you're just ethnocentric.
It could be, but from all the videos and such I've seen of that place, I don't ever want to go at all. It looks like a miserable place to visit.
I so hope that like a week from now you go, no, those were India, because that would be hilarious. What is that one? Is that like?
So this one, it says the team claims this scan shows a vast city hiding beneath the pyramid.
What doesn't so that's
Well, we can't. You and I and Shane, we aren't trained to read.
I
these
know how to
things.
do this. Look, I can see it. Look, go back up.
ridiculous.
Look, you can see that's
There's the
all
Twin
a city.
Towers.
Yeah, no, and there's the plane flying into it. Again, Kevin, here's another fucking spot where if you would have just brought up a video of 9/11, you would have been
The
hilarious.
second tower just got hit.
If Kevin would have brought that up, it would have been so.
So-
great.
That'd be a tough one to pull up that quick.
I
So
know.
they've been using this technology
It's gotta have it on a
from
button.
2 satellites positioned about 420 miles from above Earth.
Okay.
And they're
Alright.
using it to bounce back signals and bounce signals around within the Earth.
Yeah.
That's how they're seeing these things. And basically, what these photos are of
That looks like the coil.
Nonsense.
those are the signals of the radar bouncing off those structures and being sent back to the
From the side.
No, it's bouncing all over. It's 3-dimensional.
The satellites can be anywhere.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
I get that, but
But the radar, the technology itself, it's bouncing these signals in the earth, so it's literally bouncing off the walls and stuff underneath the ground.
Yeah,
the
and
earth walls.
And the
underneath
sen-
the
using
ground.
sonar or
Well,
They're using this new technology that they've got. That
Nice.
it's like a combination of like radar and some other stuff.
And basically, the sensitivity of it would be to where if it hits something a specific density is when it would bounce back, type of shit.
Right. So
nonsense.
it's
At 420 miles above the Earth.
but they use
Yes.
this. They use this to find archaeological
Children.
dig sites and stuff like that.
Missing kids
all
from
over
milk
the
cartons.
world.
We won't use technology to do that, Tim.
But hey, they use this sort of
a lucrative
these
business.
kinds of technologies to find like dig sites all over the world, and they found places like Göbekli Tepe with
Göbekli
technology
Tepe is
similar
one.
to this.
They've,
With
they've
this
found,
technology.
similar technology. This is new.
they've actually found stuff too
This
in
is
the.
nonsense is what it is.
They've actually found stuff too like this in the Amazon.
Yeah.
Stuff in areas that nobody,
Yeah.
at least that we can think of, has been to in centuries.
Well, and that's one thing. The Amazon's so there's so much of it that
Say
hasn't been
vast.
explored. It is vast.
Okay, there we go.
But there's so much of it that has not been explored in so many years because it's just so dense.
Well, here's the crazy thing: is this is what the Amazon is what like Egypt used to look like.
Yeah,
It used to be like that.
it did. It used to be a blush, green.
The other weird thing about the
Landscape.
Amazon is that's all man-made. That's a man-made fucking forest.
Yes, it is.
From
they use
ancients.
It's the soil that they had,
Yep.
right? Yeah. It's this
They use
really
that, and it's super productive soil.
nutritious. Yeah.
Yeah, and they don't know how they did it. They modern technology doesn't understand how they figured out how to make this type of soil. And I
Yeah,
think
you're
that's
right.
like most of the Amazon,
Mhm.
like the rainforest itself. Imagine what's actually fucking hidden there.
Oh, I mean, there's probably old ruins of cities and stuff that
Yeah.
are from
Kevin's hopes and
civilizations we don't
dreams.
know.
Kevin's
The lost city of Z.
Kevin's samurai sword somehow down there.
Yeah, that's where I got it from.
Yeah, I don't buy into it. I need more conclusive proof.
Well, this is
just
also
sensationalized bullshit.
early them just coming out with early findings.
Yeah.
So
But Tim, you used
obviously this is going to lead to more research, and we will hopefully find out more as time goes on. But this is just preliminary stuff,
and Tim, you used to believe in like the word of Joseph Smith, so I don't know if I can take your speculation.
It wasn't his word; it was God's word. Jesus, Shane.
We all need a collab.
His seer stones told him.
That's true. And then the second seer stones did the same thing.
Okay,
but
so
differently.
the technology they used is called synthetic aperture radar, SAR technology, which involves
Now I know what it means.
sending radar signals from satellites to photograph the pyramids and analyze how they bounce back to map underground structures, including those beneath the pyramids of Giza.
So this is how I would think that it works then. When it sends out a signal, that signal has different wavelengths within it, right?
Yeah.
And so when it hits like the surface, it'll send a signal back. When it hits underneath the surface, because the other wavelength is now going further, it'll send a signal back when it hits some structure or something.
Well, and right
whether
here,
it's rock or whatever.
Yeah, well, and right here it says the experts monitor how the signals bounce back and converted them into sound waves, allowing them to, quote, see through solid stone and map out underground structures in 3D.
So they convert it to sonar, essentially.
Essentially, yeah.
How do we know they're not aqueducts or aquifers or something like
Well,
that?
I mean,
But
maybe they are.
even
We
if
don't
it-
know what they are.
Well, even if it was aquifers, 2 kilometers under that, that's insane.
That is massive.
How is that a big deal?
It's
2 kilometers?
what is it? 1.2 miles.
Yeah, 1.2 miles maybe.
So
yeah.
1.2 miles under
Deep,
the surface.
directly down.
Or is they found natural wells?
No, not natural.
No, they're
wells.
not natural. They're
How do they-
structures. They're actually
those pillar things
built.
with stairs is nonsense. That's bullshit.
That's
I'm talking
not
about the
stairs.
city thing that we supposedly just saw.
Well, that's under. I think that was
Because again, that could just be pockets of moisture.
No, but they would know.
Yeah, they would be able to-
know if it was pockets of moisture.
How?
Because of the way
The sound bounces.
the sound bounces
Or
off
the
of way
radar.
At
yeah.
2 kilometers under the Earth's crust.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you got to remember. Well, like they
Look,
they
leave it
said
to
right
the
here,
experts.
They can literally see through the stone.
Show me the 3D model that it was created, that actually created it, and not their speculated model.
No, we
no,
showed
no.
you.
Well, I showed you.
Images.
We showed you. No,
Show
we
me some
showed
fucking blue and
we
white.
showed you what they put out.
there was green.
Oh,
There was green and there was
There's
red.
red.
some yellow.
There's yellow.
And then I saw some drawings. It looked like some fucking 4-year-old did with crayons.
None of them looked like crayon drawings.
There was crayon
Outside
handwriting
the
on one
line.
of them. It was like, this is the Pyramid of Giza.
R's
It's
backwards.
Fantastic. Can't even do his Z's right. They look like little squiggly lines.
Well, yeah, because you're taught 2 different ways to do it when you're a child. It sucks.
So listen to this. Researchers have also investigated the electromagnetic response of the Great Pyramid of Giza to radio waves, finding that the pyramid has the ability to concentrate electromagnetic energy inside
Please, give me a
So this
goddamn
might
break.
actually be a fucking
That's
place that they actually use to produce energy.
it. Possibly.
Nonsense.
The Anunnaki might be real.
But we don't know. This is just stuff that different researchers you see in that one with the bounce and the radio waves to find the electromagnetic response. That's a totally different team of researchers that did that. That wasn't these same guys.
They're all in on it together.
Yeah.
They all want that precious fucking tourism
money is what they want. That's all they're fucking after.
Because a lot of people go for fucking scientific tourism.
We're gonna test the sand here.
Dude, no, if they
Ooh,
had
this sand is sandier than this sand.
Tim, if they had your lady boys there, they'd get some tourism.
There are some. I think there's some
In
there's-
Egypt?
there's some
Probably
Egyptian
beat them to
lady
death.
boys, yeah, they get stoned real quick.
Yeah, and not the fun kind.
It's all speculative. It just said right there.
No, it's not speculative.
I find a counter to it then.
Well, I mean, obviously,
talking
Get
about-
out of your echo chamber and find something on the other side of it, Kevin.
I'm not in an echo chamber.
Chamber.
There are obviously archaeologists that are saying that this is fake news basically. But the thing
Basically.
is, a lot of these people that are saying that are people like Zahi Hawass and other people that maybe they don't understand the science that these people are doing, or they just have a reason to, keep up the
Hide it
orthodoxy
to
of what there
protect
is.
the aliens.
No, I'm not talking about aliens. I'm just saying these findings.
No,
I didn't jump to aliens.
What's his name?
Zahi Hawass.
Okay, yeah, you keep saying that.
It's fun.
That guy, I don't know if he's the one that didn't allow it, but in the King's Chamber, there's actually a chamber below it that they will not let anyone investigate in any way.
Yeah.
And they've been at that for, I think, the better part, almost a century, where they just will not allow anyone in there to look at anything.
And they also found the chamber within the Sphinx that they won't allow anybody into either.
Well, and they've also found potential structures under the Sphinx, but they won't
They
allow
won't let anybody
No.
excavate. Yeah. So it's there is definitely something else going on with these underneath and
With
inside
the Egyptian
these structures.
government.
Yes.
Yes.
And I actually do think that part of your theory is actually correct on this. They won't allow it because of the tourism. They want the tourism.
For sure.
They won't allow it any excavating there because they'd have to shut down the biggest portion of their tourism in where at in Egypt is that? I forget.
It's the Giza Plateau.
Yeah,
so
but
it's
there's a
it's
city
not
right
far-
next to it.
I think it's not far from.
Is it Cairo?
I think it's Cairo.
Okay,
yeah.
so if it's Cairo, the biggest part of their tourism is the pyramids.
Uh-huh.
It's the Westerners that come over and check out the pyramids.
And
And
get swindled out of their hard-earned
yeah,
money.
no, that absolutely happens, but that's not the government doing that. That's just the local
No, it
populace.
is the government.
Oh,
They're not
you-
doing anything about these people.
so they have their own fucking
They have their hands in the
USAID.
pockets too.
They have their own USAID
Yes,
over
they
there.
do.
Yeah, it's definitely it's Cairo.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I thought, but I didn't want to fucking just
So
yell it out.
The Giza Plateau, where the pyramids are situated, is located on the west bank of the Nile River, just southwest
No,
of Cairo.
They're gonna have to change that. Don't call it the West Bank. But no, I mean,
There
From
are
the river
other
to the
West
sea.
Banks. There are other West Banks in the world.
you can't say it though. No, but the biggest part of their tourism is going to be the pyramids, so they don't want more research on it. Back in when they first discovered the pyramids, obviously they don't have any tourism there,
Right.
Because they first discovered it.
Yeah. And there was lots of excavating going on in the 1800s, early 1900s, and stuff like that. And
They
all
got to
the
a
way
point
up
where
for
they
a
just
while.
said no more.
Yeah.
No
and,
mas.
It's just
Second news of the New York Times there. The pyramids of Giza are near a Pizza Hut.
oh wow, it
Go ahead
does
and
say that.
bring that up on the screen.
It's good to
We
know.
need to know which Pizza Hut this is.
Another sites that
But I
made
meant this
for
screen
you.
though.
That's funny.
What?
Oh, this is New York Times. You have to
You
fucking
subscribe to
they
get
make
their
you
fucking
subscribe.
nonsense.
They're so
Not going to
lame.
happen, New York Times. The failing New York Times.
Yeah,
Fake
they're
news.
garbage. All right.
But yeah, I think this is a huge fucking thing.
Yeah,
It's
I think
huge.
it's huge too. I cannot wait to find out more information.
It'll come
about
and
it.
go. It's all. It's a.
Well, it's going to take
nonsense.
it's going to take years and years for them
Nothing will
to
come of
start
it.
getting more information. But also, if the Egyptian government and other people like Zahi Hawass and stuff don't let anybody in there to get a better look, we may never get answers to this.
What's their currency over there?
Shekels.
That's not what it is. I mean, they're
Schmendricks.
around 5,000 years ago, there was people that had that as a currency there.
They'd shake their handful of shekels. The
Remem-
Egyptian pound, huh?
The Egyptian pound. Yep.
What?
Yep. The Egyptian
Sharm el
pound.
Sheikh.
So what is it to U.S. dollars?
Oh boy.
2
0
cents.
point is
2 cents.
2
to the
cents.
Gets me
United
one of their
to the
dollars.
dollar.
So they're trillions of dollars in fucking industry over there.
Yeah.
God.
I'm going to invest in Egyptian pounds.
Well, I mean, technically, if it goes up 3 cents, you've made a lot of money.
Hey, yeah, you're right. I have.
You know.
And hey, actually, it has kind of gone up a little bit
Yeah, it's-
over.
it's-
Yeah, because that stupid news about the goddamn pyramid. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, look at that!" It's exactly when the news hit.
Yeah,
Told you.
That is pretty much when the news hit. Yeah,
It's not.
Isn't that right? Yeah, the 21st, 22nd.
What a
Isn't that when it
surprise!
started coming out?
Nope. Check and see when did it come out?
This article from the Daily Mail.
Because it would have been within a day of it.
Was the 25th.
Yeah, so it was like the 23rd
Yeah.
when this happened. So that's a day before.
Huh?
You think people just started buying into the
Huh.
currency that day, so that the next day
Buy
when
up
it lost
Egyptian
a ton?
currency, everybody.
Well, that's what it
They were-
was. It's because it hit the news, and everyone's like, "Well, the investors are like, well, that's a catchphrase right now.
But
Let's invest."
But it was the day or two after that it went down.
Yeah, because there was like, "This is bullshit."
No. What I'm saying is, it went up, and then a day or two after, when they announced it was already going down.
Oh,
And
that was published. They announced it before that was published
I think it
on
was
that page.
announced.
Yeah, that's a different. I mean, the actual announcement probably happened the same day, and then they decreed that it was bullshit, and they're like, "All right, never mind.
Nope.
Get my money out
No,
of there."
not everybody. You and one other guy.
Schmendrick or whatever the fuck his name was.
Schmendrick.
Hassama Hassel or whatever his name is.
Yeah, I think it was Hassan.
Hassan bin Laden.
Hassan bin Laden. That's his name now.
That's his name.
God damn it.
That's great.
I hate it when this does it.
Hassan bin Laden. That's the dumbest.
It's so stupid.
That's the funniest too. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, all the news actually came out after the rise in that.
The drop.
No, the rise.
So, okay, so
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
American news.
You know, there's actually there
No.
has been a lot that has been going on lately.
Good.
So we are almost getting down to the wire here, and there is another thing that got released. The Argentinian president. They call him the Argentina Trump, and he's got those. I call him sideburns because he's got
sideburns.
Yeah, but they look like 70s sideburns, like
Chops.
those really big chops. Yeah,
Just call him Chops.
and
We knew a guy named Chops.
so he released a bunch of classified documents. Why would he need to release cum?
Everyone does.
Yeah, we all do that, Kevin.
Well, yeah, but why would anybody put that on the news?
I don't know, because maybe he did it in an
Because he's got
obscene
giant
place.
pork chops and he's the president.
He just whacked off
What
on a press conference.
What if he's got a super impressive load? What if that's the case?
Well, then he should be a porn star.
uploads pictures and everything. Look at this.
it's like, oh my God.
Check out today's. It looks like. Look at it. Made this.
Looks
made
like the Mona
it made
Lisa.
the design of a rabbit.
Who wants gravy for dinner?
So anyway,
This is the cum portion
but
of
there,
this episode.
there are they released documents that were classified that apparently claims that Hitler did escape World War II and
That's what Tim Kennedy
made
said.
it to Argentina and lived there until he died in the 60s. And apparently there are a lot of eyewitnesses.
Yeah, he would have been in his 80s, right?
Probably something like that.
Yeah, eight roughly. Because I think when he killed himself, he was like 60.
It's probably
60
yeah,
something.
yeah. And but essentially they say that he lived there, and apparently there's a lot of eyewitnesses in Argentina that have spoken to investigators that have gone down there in the past and have said, that people not only saw him, but he had there was a lot of Nazis that lived down in that escaped and were basically helping him, keeping him hidden.
One of the craziest parts about Argentina is they actually have towns, entire fucking towns, that do not speak. What do they speak? Is it Portuguese?
I think it's Portuguese. Yeah.
They don't speak Portuguese at all. They speak fluent fucking German.
Argentina is Mexico. It's Mexican. They speak Hispanic.
Spanish. Do they?
Hispanic.
They're Mexico.
They are Mexico. They speak the Mexico.
They're just a different type of Mexican.
No, I think it's a different dialect, but it is Spanish.
Okay, so Spanish, but these towns don't speak Spanish at all. They speak nothing but fluent German. They're all like white, blonde hair, basically
Pure.
So
wow, that's your opinion.
So,
so
some of these documents. Now, another thing about these documents. Now, I've read these, and one of the interesting things, because there's only like 10 of them that were released. One of the interesting things about these is that these documents say also that not only did he live there, but also several governments world governments knew that he was there, including the United States, and did not go after him.
Well, yeah, we had nothing against Argentina.
Well, no, I'm just saying, you think about things like Operation Paperclip, where we brought over all those German scientists, like Werner von Braun and stuff. Maybe there was some kind of a deal. I mean, I don't know.
Somebody just, I remember reading someone's post. They're like, we need to get rid of Elon because he's a fucking Nazi and go back to NASA where there's no Nazis. And it's like, but it was started by Nazis.
Yeah.
NASA was started by Nazis.
So one of the things now, another interesting thing in this release is that there's also a picture of...
He allowed himself to be photographed as well?
Apparently, and they say that this... See, it says microfilmed July 2nd, 1963.
Dude, he was
26th.
He was way into that mustache.
He really loved that mustache. Now, apparently, he was going by the name Adolf
Hitler.
Jesus Christ.
Adolf Schrittelmayer.
It would have been better if he went by Hister, because then people that believe in Nostradamus could be like, see?
That's ridiculous. Come on.
A previous CIA memo from the agency's base in Caracas, Venezuela, dated October 3rd, 1955, stated that Citrione, who was the agent that they're talking about, had said that Hitler lived in Colombia under the name of Adolf Schrittelmayer, and that the alleged Nazi leader was confident that he would not be arrested for war crimes because they had occurred more than 10 years before. In the memo included a picture of Citroën with a man resembling the Fuhrer. It added that, according to Citroën, Hitler had left for Argentina in January.
He pronounces it different every time.
Yeah, I don't know how.
Citroën.
Patron.
Patron.
Tequila.
So the thing is, and I mean, you look at this picture and it's like, well, I mean, is it Hitler? I don't know. It looks kind of like him, but maybe it's somebody.
It's a really
that
good
like
photo.
Him. Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah.
Did Hitler paint this?
He very well could have.
It was doctored.
Das do a self-portrait of myself. But
Vive ask the questions.
But so I don't know how true this is, but there is a book out that's called Grey Wolf that goes into great detail of they went, and there's a documentary as well based on the book, and apparently they go and talk to all these eyewitnesses who over many years in Argentina and other places down there had not only seen Hitler, but some of them even met him in person. And one guy was a contractor that actually did construction on Hitler's villa down there, and Hitler...
The Eagle's Nest, too?
Hitler actually got him to
Electric Boogaloo?
Hitler hired him personally, face-to-face, to do the work.
Well, remember I mentioned Tim
Did
Kennedy.
they make a porn later? Or?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they had video. Well, they had shitty video cameras. I think
They had video cameras in the late 1800s. Yes.
Yeah. They had like
They had that.
Maybe they had like the little handhelds, that they
That's
little.
hot, dude.
No, the little handhelds in the 60s were
he
fucking.
he made
like this.
he made like German Scheisse stag films.
No, remember I said Tim Kennedy earlier. Tim Kennedy actually had a show called Finding Hitler or some shit like that, and it was going to Argentina to look and see. But there's also a lot of mystery surrounding his death anyway, because the Russians claim to have found the body, right?
Yes.
It's been confirmed that that's not the body. They still have his skull on display, and they've confirmed that that was actually a woman's skull or something like that.
Oh.
And if you think that's a lie, it's Kevin. He told me that earlier. So
It is actually true though. They did DNA testing on it.
yeah, so
And it turned out it was
so
a
who
woman's.
the fuck knows who
DNA.
Russia even has? I mean, they took pictures of what they said was his body,
Yeah.
but it was severely burnt
Uh-huh.
and like disfigured to where you couldn't
Well,
tell who it was.
And also, they had found several quote unquote bodies of like some of his high ups.
Yeah.
And it turned out later when they did DNA testing and other things, they found that they were not their skeletons, and also one of them was actually like 3 skeletons that had been pieced together.
Wait.
So that means that obviously some of these other guys may have faked their deaths as well.
Yeah, I mean, look at when Biden was president. Remember the guy that looks just like Biden, but it was like 8 feet taller than him?
Yes.
That walked
Well-
out next to Jill, and you're like, that's not Biden.
Yeah.
Biden's
Well,
not 6'8".
Well, and the claim is that Hitler had several body doubles.
Of course.
And which a lot of world leaders do
Yeah.
have body doubles. And
They're called doppelgangers.
doppelgangers. But apparently now, what I guess there was someone that was a German that was working close in there, and he said that they used a doppelganger, and for not only Hitler but his wife, and that the SS actually killed them, and that woman could have been one of the bodies that the Russians got. But now, is that true? I don't know. It's just this guy saying it.
Just speculating.
Right. But all these other eyewitness accounts and stuff. It's interesting, because we know that a lot of the Nazis escaped there to Argentina. We also know people like Joseph Mengele, Adolf Eichmann, who ended up getting caught by the Mossad and brought back to the Nuremberg trials and hung. A lot of these guys were high up in the SS and the Nazis, and
Yeah,
if they were gonna help someone escape, don't you think the top guy would probably be one of the guys they could be getting out?
Maybe they also were like, well, this guy got us into this.
Could be.
But they were all like diehards.
That's the thing. And what this book Grey Wolf talks about is that a lot of the Nazis that are down there that were supposedly around Hitler were the diehards, and they were the people that were wanting to protect him and were just.
Well, they were also the ones with the most to lose.
That's
if they
true.
Stayed,
That's
'cause
true.
It was their life.
Yeah, but what was it? Martin Bormann apparently stole a whole lot. During the end of the war, he had taken a lot of a bunch of stuff that they had stolen from other countries, like treasure and art and all this other stuff, and shipped it down to places like Argentina and I think Brazil. Ended up getting some of it in their banks.
Tim, you
And
might need a CPAP.
They
for
were
this.
using that money.
I'm doing that up here.
The Nazis down there were using the money that they had basically stolen from all of these countries, a lot of it, and just to fund their living in Argentina and South America. So, did Hitler survive and escape to Argentina? I don't know.
That's the real mystery, guys.
But it's interesting to think about, and
Him and Tupac hanging out over there.
yeah. I mean, who knows? Maybe in the future we might get more information that'll come out. If so, then, well, holy shit. That it would be really crazy if that had turned out that he really did escape. And you wonder why governments, if they had known about it, didn't go after him.
And from what I've read, he was not a very good dude.
No.
All right,
No.
Hitler? Yeah.
No, not
That's to
not
be
the
debated.
not the kind of guy you want your daughter to bring home for dinner.
I don't know. I mean, look, we all want someone that looks at us like Ava Braun. Even through all the bad stuff. It's like, you know what? I get it. But okay.
Sure, you can poison me. We'll die together. Yeah,
That's
that's dedication.
That's just the narrative, Kevin.
That is the narrative. Yes.
Hit the fucking button. Anyway, thank you for listening to the show. And Kevin drone on an hour.
Well done, Kevin.
See, this is why I can't do conspiracy corners.
No, it worked. It was fine.
Yeah.
It's just the ending you droned on a bit. Anyway, thank you for listening. Find us on the social medias, except Twitter. And like, subscribe, follow for more. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Take time into the madness.